Hi, everybody. I'm coming to you with the verdict. I know it's been several hours since the verdict was reached, but I was at the ballpark working. So the verdict came in right as the game was starting, and I really could not get to a place where I could start or do a short recording for you. But so I had to hold on till the game was over, and they scored like 12 runs in the eighth inning. I'm like, good God, this is never going to end. Um, but it did end. But I got a lot to talk to you about with this verdict. Lori Vallow Daybell was on trial for conspiracy to commit the murder of her then husband, Charles Vallow, so she could marry her current husband, Chad Daybell. And we all know the whole Lori Vallow Daybell, Chad Daybell story. I thought we all knew it, but I was wrong. We don't all know that story. Some people have been living under a rock, apparently, and those people were on the jury. They found people that knew nothing about that case. Yeah. Anyway, the jury came back local time in Arizona, 4 p.m. And so 4 hours of deliberation, give or take, not including lunch. Anyway, maybe a little less than that. So not a lot of deliberation. And I did see some interviews with the jurors, and we're going to talk about that. But the verdict was read in court that that Lori was found guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, which she can get up to life in prison. But the jury would next have to go into an aggravation phase where they would have to determine 3 aggravating factors. And if they found those aggravating factors, then the judge would sentence her to life in prison. I don't know what happens if she wasn't found. But anyway, Lori wanted to stipulate to those aggravating factors. So the aggravating factors were, first of all, the first thing the jury would have had to decide was this a dangerous offense? And because it involved a weapon, that's, check. Yes, that's an easy one. Yes, it was a dangerous offense. There was a weapon involved. Did it cause physical or emotional or financial damage to the victim's, because he's deceased, family, and of course, maybe not financial because Kay got $1 million, but certainly emotional and physical. I mean, Kay's not spring chicken. So of course. And then next, was there an accomplice? Yes, there was. Her brother Alex was the one that committed the shooting. So they would have come back and found that there were many aggravating circumstances, and he's probably going to recommend life in prison. But so because she stipulated to it, she's like, yep, I'm going to stipulate. We don't have to do this. The jury was sent home, and so weird. Like she got tired of representing herself. She just kind of gave up at the end there. But in any case, the judge mentioned that there is a status conference on the next Lori Vallow Daybell trial that's in Arizona in front of the same judge. There's a status conference in mid-May. That's the case where she's being tried for a conspiracy to commit the murder of Brandon Boudreaux. Now, Brandon didn't die. He's still alive. He didn't, thank God, that was not successful, but it was an attempt at murdering Brandon Boudreaux, nonetheless, because he was one of the dark people. He was married to Melanie Boudreaux Pawlowski, who is Lori Vallow's niece. Okay, so then we got to hear from 3 of the jurors in some interviews outside the courtroom. I recognized Nate Eaton as one of the reporters asking questions. I recognized Lauren from Hindu Crime. I didn't recognize any of the other people that were asking questions, but something that bothered the jury was that they felt like Lori oftentimes, first of all, they said she did not do herself any favors by representing herself. that a lot of the time she was smiling, laughing. She didn't seem to be taking things very seriously. The one gentleman said it was the text messages that convinced him. So apparently when they first got back there, there was 10 people that were in favor of guilty, 2 people that weren't, and they really needed to see the evidence to be able to be convinced, like everybody else was already convinced. So, and then once they saw these text messages, they were like, yeah. And then really the text message that the Trina K harped on during her closing was kind of the clincher, where there was that text message where she said to Alex, we did it. What was it she said? Before they got rid of him. Yeah, that must have been Ned before they got rid of him. So that before they got rid of him kind of cinched things for those last couple of jurors. They thought she would have called some witnesses. These people had no clue about the murders of they knew nothing about the fact that there was nobody left that had witnessed that Tylee was dead, JJ was dead, Alex was dead. They had no idea. And still don't. One lady said we were told it's on Netflix. We're going to go home and watch it. The one woman said when she told her mother which trial she was on, her grandmother's jaw hit the floor. I said, "You mean to tell me you don't know about this case?" And she's like, "Nope." So her grandmother did not tell her anything. But now she's going to go home and watch Netflix. She goes, "Yeah, Grandma's going to watch with me." Anyway, but they thought that there was things missing. They were hoping to hear from Tylee. They were hoping to hear from Alex. They thought there'd be other family members testify. They thought, where's the rest of the story here? Like, we're not getting everything. They picked up on that for sure. So they certainly didn't know she had been convicted of 3 murders, including the murders of her 2 children, Tylee and JJ. They said it was very confusing to them about these missing people. They were asked, did Lori have any valid arguments in favor of a not guilty verdict? And they're like, no, she did not. No. And they said, well, how do you feel now that you're hearing about these other things that she's done? And they're like, this is very sad. And it is a very, very sad case. One woman said that she got very emotional hearing from Kay, which is Charles's sister, Kay Woodcock. And it really bothered them whenever these statements about the Mormon church would come up, the Nephi story and everything. Lori would be, it seemed like she didn't care. She'd be laughing and looking at the jury, smiling. And they also, one of the things, because Lori had asked them to watch the police interview, they did, and they watched it, and basically it was what we thought it was going to be. It was just those clips. It was all chopped up because during that interview, Lori had said some things that Tylee said, and that's hearsay, so that had to be cut out. So what was left was what they saw, and basically those were the clips that I went over that we heard in court. But they thought that, she's sitting there cross-legged, acting like she doesn't care. They thought, why would your brother says he's injured from this event and you don't even check on him? They were really, really moved by that. So very, very interesting case. And we're not done with Lori Daybell. So there'll be another trial in the not too distant future. So I'm also going to be doing a Karen Reed video that you'll get because I'm going to be at the ball game first thing in the morning. But there is a video that I'll do now, and I'll have that available for tomorrow on what happened in the Karen Reed case today. Today was day 1 of that testimony. So I will see you in that video, and otherwise have a great day. I will be live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I canceled Build With Me Monday. I will be building tomorrow night. I'm going to be starting the Wizard House. Oh, how exciting. All right. See you then. Bye.